Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 and week 4. You had a really busy first couple of weeks and I appreciate how hard you're working. I know these late start classes are really impacted and a pretty heavy workload, so I just appreciate you all diving in and working so hard. So I opened up week 3 and week 4 modules, and so I want to just go over the assignments and talk about what my expectations are for the next couple of weeks. We are diving into infancy and toddlerhood, so we are covering chapters 4, 5, and 6 over the next couple of weeks. So let's look at week 3 first, and chapters 4 and 5. So week 3, we're going to have your Play Pause It study lecture for chapter 4, your Play Pause It study lecture for chapter 5, and then also your quizzes for chapters 4 and 5. Lastly, you're also going to have your discussion for the week, which is going to look at how families learn about their children's development. So I'll go over that in detail in just a second. Lastly, this might look familiar from last week, but you have your birthing interview due this week as well on Sunday night. I will go ahead and move the submission portal into week 3 so it's easier for you to access, but it's the same assignment. It's just due this week, so I'm just giving you a friendly reminder. If you haven't started it, you didn't need to. I just want you to be mindful that it is due Sunday night, so I do advise you get started on it early. Another gentle reminder is that our discussions have a different due date assembly. So every discussion, the initial post is always due on a Friday. So your response to the prompt is due Friday at 11:59 p.m. And then your responses to your peers are due Sunday at 11:59. So I know the due date in your calendar only says Sunday, but I really want you to use this calendar to remind you of when things are due. For the most part, it's pretty consistent with what your Canvas calendar tells you. The discussions are the only exception to that rule. So I just want you to be mindful. I do this so that people have somebody to respond to, because if I leave it all due on Sunday, I'm fearful that for students who are wanting to get it done early, they won't have anybody to respond to that early. And then they're going to have to wait till late at night on Sunday to respond to their peers. So that is why I have it set up this way. So let's go to our assignments. Go into our modules. I know we've had some issues for a couple of the play posits. I want to make sure that I can help you to resolve these issues. These are required assignments, and I haven't had the problems that I've seen in this class, and so I really want to support you and figure out how can we get through this and make sure you can use them, because they are helpful for your learning. So if you do run into any issues, please contact me early, and I will set you up with some kind of tech help. Probably not going to be me, but I will set you up with somebody who is a lot more knowledgeable than I am with these issues, so that you can get some support. So here are your 2 play posits due Sunday the 25th at 11:59, and then let's look at your discussion. So what you're going to do is you're going to listen to the podcast. If you're a big fan of podcasts like I am, I think we'll enjoy this one. So you're going to click on this. It'll take you directly to the podcast. You're going to listen to it, get some information, and then what I'd like you to do is think about some resources for new parents or new families. And I want you to choose your favorite resource out there. So this could be anything: a blog, a book, another podcast. Be creative. And what I want you to do is form it like a Yelp review. So I want you to give it a rating blank out of 5 stars, and then tell us about the pros and the cons. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you think was helpful? What do you think wasn't helpful? So your initial post is going to be between 250 and 350 words, and it's due on Friday the 23rd. And then I want you to check out some of the resources that your peers have provided and respond to 2 peers by Sunday, 10:25 at 11:59. So hopefully that makes more sense now that I've explained it. And then you're going to have your 2 quizzes, same format. You can open and close them as many times as you need to. But as soon as you hit submit, then that is your submission. You can't reopen them. But you can leave them open if you'd like to take them while you're reading or after you do the play pause it lecture, however you feel works best for you. Okay, so that is week 3 module. Now let's look at week 4 module. Week 4 module, we're looking at chapter 6, which is our last chapter, looking at infancy and toddlerhood, and specifically we're talking about social emotional development. Okay, so for this week you will have 1 play pause it study lecture on chapter 6. And then you'll have a discussion about temperament tendencies, your chapter 6 reading quiz, and then your second exam. So you're going to have your exam on chapters 4, 5, and 6, finishing up infancy and toddlerhood. So you'll see your due dates for week 4's assignments, but they are available for you earlier. So if you are the kind of person who's wanting to get a head start and want to get these things done, they are open for you to start, but you'll see the due dates are a couple weeks out. Okay, so let's go through and look at some of your assignments. So these are your play posits. They're going to look similarly each week. And here's your assignment. So in your reading and in your lecture, I talk about it a little bit, but in your reading, you're going to see a different discussion about temperament. And so I always want to provide you with the most current information that's out there. So I have provided you with an article and looking at the different temperament tendencies, and within that article you're also going to see a video. So you're going to see examples of what temperament looks like. You're going to see how temperament looks in different children. So I want you to look at these different temperament tendencies and then use the information that you've learned to respond to this discussion prompt. So summarize your learning from the video and article first, and then I want you to reflect on your own temperament self-assessment. So you're going to have a self-assessment PDF here, and you're going to see a rating scale. And so you're either going to be highly responsive or low responsive, and in all of these different tendencies. So you're going to reflect, are you quick to respond in anger? Do you have a low tolerance for frustration? So those are the kinds of things you're going to be almost grading yourself on. And then what I'd like you to do is, if you are a parent, I'd like you to do the child assessment on your child and then compare your results from yourself and your child, and think about that goodness of fit model. And do you find yourself having a lot of conflict with your child? Do you feel like your child is really easy to care for and you never have any conflict? You're going to look at, what does this mean for the goodness of fit model? If you are not a parent and you have contact with the people who helped raise you, whether those are parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles, see if they'll conduct their own temperament rating scale and see how your temperament and your caregiver's temperament, how that was a good fit or not. So reflect on yours and your child's temperament or yours and your caretaker's temperament. If you can't do either of those, another option, a third option that's not listed in here, is to do yours and your partner's temperament and see if that's a good fit. That's kind of fun as well. So I just really want you to get the hang of looking at temperament tendencies. So that is your discussion. Your quiz this week, again, same rules apply. You can open and close it as many times as you need to, but once you hit submit, that is your final submission. For your exam, it's the same as the previous exam. You get 60 minutes to answer 25 questions. All of them are multiple choice, are true or false. I haven't had anyone need more than the 60 minutes. If you have DSPS accommodations, I do extend your time to whatever your accommodations allow for. So please don't worry about that being done. But that's about it. So you have another couple weeks of a lot of work, but I hope you're enjoying the content. I hope you're enjoying what you're learning. And then if you ever have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a wonderful couple of weeks.